Hey there guys, Portal Master here, and in today's video we are going to be talking about Activision's Q2 2020 earnings call that had a few interesting little pieces of information on it, and we're going to be talking about what that could mean for the future of their franchises, be it Crash, be it Spyro, and be it the focus of this channel, Skylanders. So let's get into this. Canadian Guy A posted something on Twitter that was effectively a complete recap and information breakdown on what the Q2 earnings call actually was for Activision. And we're going to be talking about that recap today. I was not actually able to listen to the entirety of the earnings call, and from what I understand, this is a really good recap of it, so we're just going to be focusing on the bullet points that he lists here. I'll throw the tweets up on the side so that you guys can read them as well, and I'll be reading them off of my phone. So, let's get started. Gonna tweet as the quarterly Activision call goes. Follow the thread for updates. Call of Duty has greatly increased their player base since COVID. They want to grow all the franchises that they own. They want to expand teams so that they can create more games and products faster. They exceeded their previous expectations for Q2. They have 125 monthly active users. Call of Duty Modern Warfare's universe has increased 8-fold year over year. The next Call of Duty title is made by Treyarch and Raven Software. It will still release later this year. Call of Duty Mobile is doing well. COVID has had an impact on their marketing plan. Because of this, they want to hit fans more directly in the new plan and the new world. There's an announcement for the new Call of Duty, and it will be very, very soon, presumably the PlayStation State of Play. Tony Hawk is coming in September. Crash is coming back in October. It's an entirely new Crash experience. World of Warcraft saw massive growth. Hearthstone is still a thing. Overwatch saw a lot of returning players. Diablo is still a late out-of-season April Fool's joke. Crash Mobile is a new take on the runner category with a deep social and resource management. King has 271 million active users. Remote working is causing some logistical issues, but Activision feels that it hasn't affected them overall, and it is overcoming those issues. Then he got into the Q&A session, which they always hold for big investors to call in and ask their questions about the upcoming installments that Activision has. So, the questions included things that said like Activision net revenue was almost $1 billion in Q2. Tony Hawk was also coming to PC. Crash and Call of Duty are both coming in Q4. They said it's a great time to be a Crash fan. King looks selectively at Activision's IPs and sees what works. They selectively pick titles, and they decided to go with Crash Bandicoot, and they reimagined the Crash universe as well. Crash is getting the talent and attention it deserves, and TFB is killing. I don't really know what that last point means. I assume he meant killing it, but I don't really know. So, that was the end of the recap for the Q2 earnings call. That's pretty much everything interesting from what I understand that was stated in the earnings call. Let's talk about what they said. The single most important thing that I want you guys to take out of this press conference is the point right here. They are expanding teams so that they can release more games and more products. Right now, the Activision side of Activision Blizzard is honestly kind of in an interesting position. While they are doing incredibly well because all the games they're making right now are doing very well, like Crash Spyro, Crash Team Racing, all sold very, very well. And Call of Duty right now, with the introduction of Warzone, I think especially they're seeing a lot of Call of Duty players, and it's really helped their overall money-making opportunities. But they're in an interesting position, as I said, because right now they're looking at 2 installments per year, generally speaking. This year they're going to have 3, but that's only because they're remastering Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Next year, they're going to be back to just having the single Call of Duty installment, as well as their kids' franchise of choice, which would presumably be the Spyro 2021 release title, which is, we assume, in production by Vicarious Visions right now. This is still really weird though, because like they lost Bungie, and Bungie was, the people who made Destiny, and Destiny is a looter shooter, and despite being a looter shooter, it doesn't actually face direct competition from something like Borderlands, largely due to the progression that is present in there. Essentially, when Activision owned or had access to the Destiny franchise, they had a very unique money-making opportunity, and while Anthem did try to come in and kind of try to compete with Destiny, it's pretty much still sitting there on its own, and they're planning 3 more years of content for Destiny. Activision, despite the fact that they're doing very well right now, probably really wishes that they had Destiny as a franchise still to supplement their other games so that they could still be releasing more things per year. That being said, if they're looking to expand their existing teams, then that raises a few questions. what more do they want to release, and how does this affect their current pattern that is going on with Crash and Spyro? It could mean a couple of things. First off, it could mean that their end game is to alternate Crash and Spyro games. So essentially, you look at, Crash 2020, Spyro 2021, Crash 2022, Spyro 2023, and then you're not waiting 3 years in between games. That could be their first opportunity. But then, of course, you look at, the whole thing, where are you fitting in the spin-off games like Crash Team Racing? I'm sure at some point they will release another Crash Bash. I know that that's a very controversial game amongst Crash fans, but a lot of people do want another Crash Bash, and I personally think that that would be a cool game. As well, I think that Beanox has already confirmed that there is a Crash Team Racing sequel that they are hoping to produce at some point. So there's a lot of things up in the air. But the main takeaway from this is that if their goal is to release more games, then they're probably going to break the mold from what we've been seeing in past years. And that opens up a lot of possibilities. They've stated in the past as well that they are interested in reviving older franchises, and one of those would include Skylanders, which we have not seen now in 2020 in 4 years. By the time we get to 2021, which would pretty much be the earliest possible time for a Skylanders release, we would be looking at no Skylanders title in over 5 years, and that's not too dissimilar from the amount of time that it took them to bring back Guitar Hero from the dead. One of the other things that they said was that they wanted to grow all of the franchises that they own. This would obviously include things like Spyro, things like Crash, things like Call of Duty, but it could also extend to franchises that are not currently active, and one of those would be Skylanders. I'm not terribly familiar with other franchises that Activision themselves have and are not currently using. Guitar Hero is one of them, but honestly, after the colossal failure that was Guitar Hero Live, I don't see them trying to revive that franchise again for quite some time. Although, I wouldn't be surprised if we're sitting in 2025 and we're seeing some kind of Guitar Hero comeback of some way, shape, or form. That honestly wouldn't shock me, even in the slightest. But still, you do want to know, what is their actual plan? What other games do they want to do? Are they wanting to bring back some kind of, franchise that we haven't seen in a while? Or are they looking to create a new franchise? Honestly, it's really hard to say. And this could actually be on the Call of Duty side of things. Maybe they want to try to create their own competitor to Destiny now. Maybe they want to create a competitor MMO, looter shooter game more like Destiny than Borderlands. That could be their end game with this whole expansion. Honestly, it's really hard to say. But one thing that I did think was interesting was that he was talking, Canadian guy, in the very end of his thing about how Toys for Bob was killing it. And I think that that's really interesting because right now, as Skylanders fans, we think that the best odds for a Skylanders comeback rests in the hands of Toys for Bob. This is due to a variety of reasons that I have made videos on at this point, but largely because they are the original creators of Skylanders, and most people consider them to be, the real reason that the franchise was successful, rather than vicarious visions. So if Toys for Bob was looking to expand their teams, then that makes a whole lot of sense for them to be the ones that could be creating a Skylanders game. This also lines up with the recent hirings that we have seen from Toys for Bob, as we can see right there, which one of those was for a senior network engineer, which I thought was interesting because unless Crash has some type of large-scale, online multiplayer, I don't see why they'd be hiring for that role, and it seems to me like it has to be a different game, be it Crash Team Racing, which I still don't even think that'd be a Toys for Bob thing, that'd be a Beanox thing. There's a lot going on here, and I've probably talked really quickly through all of this, but I just can't help but think that there's actually a lot in this financial report that we can take away as fans. And just because it's not Skylanders doesn't mean it's not interesting to me, because I still think that, their whole release schedule for Crash and Spyro depends, changes a lot affects how Skylanders would be brought back if that was something that was going to happen. So, honestly, I don't know. Again, there's a lot to break down in this, and I hope you guys will join me down in the comments talking about, what you think this could be. There's a lot going on, and I really want to know what you guys think. That's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Portal Master. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and go follow me on both Twitter and Instagram, link down in the description below. And also, if you want to, you can join the official Discord, which is also down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.